every TB story should be a story of success, of being diagnosed early, being put on the treatment early, with all the needed social, psychological support provided. However, this story is only found in books.
I have seen my family members struggling with TB during 10 years, and finally losing my two brothers to MDR TB, one in a sudden death, the other in a very slow, painful death. And I myself experienced multi-drug resistant tuberculosis in my body and in my soul for 4 years. We felt as a family alone, isolated, and kind of forgotten. We need to help people to adhere to treatment. We need to listen to them.
We interviewed a young woman from India, Nandita, who survived 2 battles against tuberculosis. When asked what message she would bring to world leaders attending the high-level meeting, and I'm quoting her, she said, "Every decision you make affects the life of millions of like me irreversibly. So it's imperative that survivors are involved in policy-making and decision-making."
TB does not have a right to exist. And we have a right to a world free from tuberculosis.
Since we started this morning at 10 o'clock, 900 lives have been lost already.
We spoke and cried about the fact that we don't have enough tools, that we don't have enough funding, that we don't have enough scale, but we were crying on the shoulder of each other, and we didn't have the right audience. And the right audience that we need to have are the heads of states and the heads of governments and the governments themselves that are able to do something for the life of their people.
One thing that I would want to say to the heads of government, first of all, be present at the high-level meeting, because if you're not there, then it's like a pretty useless meeting, as Luchika said. Yeah? So be there, commit to finding the missing millions. India, not 1 million missing, 12 million missing. And invest in TB, invest in services, invest in R&D, invest in a bloody vaccine. Oops.
Thanks.
We've managed this year to vaccinate for the Ebola epidemic in DRC within 13 days of declaration. You know what? Things happen when you want to make it happen.
I had one of the lightest form of tuberculosis, yet I lost a lung. And this happened in an European country.
The 5 BRICS countries have roughly 40% of the global population, 50% of the TB burden, and 60% of the MDR TB burden. If these 5 countries guarantee the needed resources to fill the funding gap for programs, services, and research, we have a great part of the work done. And they can.
My mother was inflicted by this ancient disease. The disease weakened her body, and she cannot do her laundry, which is the only source of her income for the poor family. We almost starved to death because of tuberculosis.
Women are primary caregivers. If we focus and invest in our women, the benefits are many. We give strength to the entire family, and the community benefits multifold.
Less than half the 1 million children sick with TB each year are ever diagnosed. More than 700 children die of tuberculosis every day. 80% of these are babies under 5 years of age.
We have to science the shit out of tuberculosis. We need to develop exactly what our key asks say. New vaccines, new regimens, much safer diagnostics and drugs.
A short regimen, the 9 regimen, was introduced recently, but for the patient, 9 months is not short enough.
I would like to talk about the 2 billion people who are latently infected with tuberculosis. So every year, 8 million people from this group develop active tuberculosis, and will continue to do so for years to come despite our best efforts to treat active tuberculosis. So I would like to support the development of ultra-short course regimens as well as vaccines that treat the latently infected population.
To end TB, we need to double the current funding to $13 billion annually.
To treat TB, for every dollar that you spend, you get $92 in return. Invest so that we do not have drugs that make people commit suicide, that we do not have painful injections that people have to take, hundreds of them. We will light up lives and end TB only if we have the courage and the will to be on the side of the affected and value the community and be willing to invest. Thank you.